Good morning, folks. I'm sorry if you had problems finding the scheduled programme this morning. Restream had an algorithm update last night and it wiped the schedule, as it always does. Unfortunately, they send an email out before it to tell you to reschedule your events. Never seen the email. So we don't know how it'll go this morning. Don't know how many will show up, but I see they're starting to race in the room now. Morning, John. Morning, Barbara. Morning, June. Morning, Stephen. Morning, Indy Scott Bryant. Morning, Jeanette. Morning, Linda. Anyways, you know it's a Wednesday, and on a Wednesday I bring the other guy, the other one in, the other Davey in, and I hit him with the headlines to see what he thinks. He's pretending to be the guy that's just walked into the supermarket or into news agents and has all these headlines in front of him, and he's no buying a paper, so he's just picking up the information he's getting for what's in front of him on the shelf. So that's what we're going to do with David this morning, as we do every Wednesday morning. So I'll get him in a wee second once we get going. Okay. People are starting to rush through the door now. So it's Indy Truck Davey out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. Where it is overcast this morning, warm, 15 degrees. Now, apparently there's a heat wave going on. I guess we didn't get the fucking memo. Right, let's get the other one in. Good morning, everyone.
The other one is here.
Good morning. How are you today, David?
I'm expecting a change of algorithm. Bucket and spade. Pat.
You'll be open your jollies shortly. Thank fuck the internet's needing a rest for you.
They'll be filling all them rabbit holes and it's ridiculous, honestly. I should complain. Anyway, there we go.
Listen, we're moving the fucking whole bastard set of rabbits while you're gone. The warren will be gone by the time you get back, you palm. You better get your fucking heat in the game.
Oh, what is
business going on?
Bucket and spade's back. I'll have good use for it. There we go.
Aye. Anyway, good morning, everyone. Numbers are quite nicely, so we'll get into it. First up this morning, your headline for you, David, is in the Scotsman, and I'll get it for you. No, I fucking won't. That's not the Scotsman. Let's try the other way round. And we want to mornings, I think. Come on. We'll find the fucking thing. I know it's there. Who's this? I'll be right next to the bloody site. I've no got it, David. I'll just hear, right?
Right, go on.
Some reason it's weird.
Anything. Just give me a use headline. Let's see.
You know what? I'm going to go and grab it because it's a cracker. It really is a cracker. But actually, when I looked into this one, it's quite serious. So I do need to find this one.
Clammy in Edinburgh near Portobello. Blooming neck. Thanks, Jeanette. Right,
there you go, David. There's your headline.
Give
schools the tools to end pupil violence, Minister's told.
What are they going to do? Are they going to give them tasers or something like that? Are they? What are they going to do?
I've absolutely no idea, David. But the thing is, yesterday the Scottish Government issued guidance to schools because of an increase in school violence since the pandemic. Apparently, locking our children up for a year and a half has made them fucking antisocial little animals. They don't get on well.
When you send a kid, and you say that carefully, right? When you send a kid to prison, what you end up with is a criminal. You end up with a hardened criminal because they'll learn how to be a criminal. That's all they're doing. They need to find a different way. We need to find a different direction.
We didn't send them to jail, David. We kept them at home. What does that say about us as parents when the kids get out of that lockdown and they're antisocial wee shites? What does it say about us?
It said dreadful things about us as parents.
You're right, it does. It says that We basically didn't interact with our children for for a year and a half while they were actually in the house.
Yes, yes, I know. The thing
Because
is, the
since
thing
the
is,
pandemic, David,
when you look at it, right, that time that they were in the house during the pandemic, it's like it's where we played games. That's what it did. That's
they
what it
sat in their bedrooms and played violent games, David. With no parental supervision. Now they're back amongst people, they're being bloody violent.
So therefore, what you've got to do is you've got to say, well, is that what you do with a 14, 15-year-old? What do you do with a 14 or 15-year-old that's in the house, that's bouncing off the walls, that's literally stark crazy and saying, I want to go out?
You ensure that you interact with them constantly.
You interact with them constantly, what happens is you end up in a worse situation than you were than if you allowed them to play games. I know that. David, I'm just telling you how it is.
I'm telling you, it's about balance, David. It's about allowing them to play their games, but spending time with them. It would appear a lot of our parents didn't spend any time with them.
It was a strange time for all of us. Never mind so-called parents.
Anyway, let's move on. It's only a 30-minute programme. The Rancid is a sports story. Justice Minister's war on thugs. Thugs up in smoke. What do you think that's about, David?
Sorry, I didn't get. You broke up. Your algorithm's terrible. Right, say again.
The Daily Record has a sports story. Justice Minister's war on thugs. Thugs up in smoke. What do you think that's about?
Absolutely no idea. What are they going to do?
You maybe have a better idea if you could see the front page, David, but I don't put the answer up. It's actually about pyrotechnics in football.
Right. Okay. So in other words, what they're doing is they're bringing whatever sparklers or whatever they're going to do.
No, flares, David. Flares. They're bringing coloured flares and they're emitting a lot of smoke. And apparently the Justice Minister, while at Aberdeen celebrating them winning the cup, couldn't breathe because of these thugs with their flares. So she's going after them. Right, the scum, which I also don't put up, is on the Iran story, and it's got Prez on brink of attack. Trump's armada. US war fleet bolstered in UK and Europe. We won't kill the leader for now.
I've got an idea what it's about, but that's ridiculous.
Trump's moving his armada, his fleet, into the European waters.
Yeah.
And it would appear that the UK, the US, the Germans, and the French are all coming down on the wrong side of fucking history as they warn Iran over Israel attacking it.
Right, exactly. I put up that post that you put up yesterday, referenced the Thornbury, whatever his name was, cheering that thing with the ambassador, the Iranian ambassador.
Did you see when I got to questions? And that idiot for the Labour Party was asking, how many drones did you sell to Russia? Well, I've got a question for that fucking idiot in the Labour Party. How many guns and bullets have you sent to fucking Israel, you wanker?
That was B. Liar McDougall, who was in charge of no car.
Right.
And it's like what he did was what about it? It wasn't about the actual attack. It wasn't about did you get attacked? Did you get attacked first or whatever? Right? It was
why did you sell drones to Russia? Why does the UK sell fucking arms to anybody?
Yeah, exactly.
What about it? So the Iranians are not allowed to have a military-industrial complex, but we in the West are.
Yeah.
The Iranians are not allowed to sell weapons to other regimes, but we in the UK are.
Yeah, that's right.
The Iranians.
A good question for that Iranian would have been was how many bombs or missiles did Britain sell to Israel?
Right. As I say, it was a disgusting thing to see, David. We all do the same thing. And yet how these weapons that were sold on the international market were used was the people who sold their fault.
Yeah.
So because they were selling to Russia, well, we're selling to Israel. How many
really
Palestinian children have we killed?
At the end of the day, all you should have heard was a big sorry to hear that happened to your country. We condemn Israel. That's how it should have come out.
Aye.
But it didn't. What you had was friends of Israel round about that blooming table. And you mentioned it.
One, David, we don't have time for this sort of geopolitics.
No.
One, we'll deal with headlines. Right, and next up we've got the Daily Fail. The Daily Fail has US poised to join Iranian war. Trump sends jets and demands. Wait a minute. Trump sends jets and demands regime unconditional surrender. He knows where Ayatollah is, but won't kill him for now.
Right. Whether or not he's got intelligence on it, right? The US will not get involved in that war with Iran. I'll tell you that straightforward, right? Reason being is one of Iran's biggest allies is Russia. Not going to do it. He's a blowhard. All he's doing is blowing hard at the moment, and he's not doing anything.
I think you might be wrong there, David.
What do you think?
I think you might be wrong.
You reckon they will?
Well, we'll see.
We'll get involved.
Let's move on with time. No, David, see, if you linked the two things together when you looked at what happened in that fucking Commons Committee meeting yesterday, I'm afraid the flags of all war three are flying above that fucking committee.
They might make the noises, but actually doing the action is entirely different. Netanyahu is in a corner, and that's why he did what he did.
Right, next up we have the Times, and it doesn't help either. Trump, we won't kill Ayatollah for now.
Yeah.
President warns Iran's wants Iran's unconditional surrender. David, I'm struggling with this one today because I really want to rip into this.
I can't look at the paper anyway. Can you get it off? It's got that idiot, and he's a female woman there waving at us. Right, fuck off.
Right, well, I want to get to the byline on this one, David. Right, and this one's comical as fuck. Channel migrants crisis deepens as French hand out life jackets. So apparently we've given the French almost £1 billion a year to stop these migrants, and they're actually giving them life jackets and helping them into the boats.
But we know that's the case. We know that's always been the case. John Darms standing at the end of the beach, watching them loading up. What they're supposed to be doing, at the end of the day, it's like, I agree with what the French are doing as far as that's concerned. I do. If the tables are the other way around, it's like we'd be going, d'accord,
right, next up the Telegraph.
Aviento.
Next up the Telegraph, David. Okay.
I disagree with this. This is a thread that's running all the way through. Trump poised to join war in Iran. I don't think he's going to. I think we haven't seen what's going to happen, and what's going to happen is going to be a bit more difficult than that. The Americans might make Trump might make the noises that he's going to join the war in Iran. Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
That remains
not going to get a chance.
That remains to be seen. Oh, you think there'll be an unconditional surrender, do you?
No, I won't air my washing yet.
You won't speculate on what you think is going to happen. Okay.
I'm not going to speculate at the moment. I already have a rabbit hole already sorted in waiting when that one. But
I'm glad you're not going to speculate at the moment because now you've told me I was doing a fucking rabbit hole. I know you're off your chump. Fanport rabbit hole. I'll tell you what's going to happen.
Unconditional surrender by Iran.
We're going to ruin the table.
Yesterday,
Iran was already at the fucking table. That's why Netanyahu did it.
Right. Yesterday, I was in a fortunate position. The father-in-law turned up, right? And I said to him, what's your idea of what's happening between Iran and Israel at the moment, right? He said, "Oh, Iran's getting their heads knocked off." I said, "Do you think so?" So what I did was I went through it on my phone, all the different videos of people in Tel Aviv, all screaming and all the rest of it as the missiles come down. And he went, where's that? And it's, obviously the place you have to go through some of them. This was Tel Aviv. Iran, it did show you people in Tehran, the queues of people, but it could have been a Russia even traffic jam, right? At the end of the day, it's like you don't know. It's just the images, right? But one image you can't get a buy of is all the different missiles coming in, and the Patriot missiles going up trying to knock them out, and they're knocking out one or two, but they're not being very effective, are they?
Right, next up we'll get the eye. Trump threatens Supreme Leader of Iran but won't kill him for now.
To be honest with you, Trump is being rather careful with this. He knows fine well if he did something like that, the chances are he'd be the next one on the list.
Now, what's interesting about that, David, is the title Supreme Leader goes back to the last regime change, instituted by the West, of course, as the Shah had to go.
Right, that's right, yeah.
Right. Now, when it became a religious state, and the religious leader took over, all of a sudden they went from being a religious leader and a man of God to being a supreme leader in the Western press. Folks, that very title, Supreme Leader, is to give the impression of a dictator.
That's right.
That's what they call Mao Zedong. That's what they call the Didi in North Korea.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what Putin and Trump are trying to emulate. But there'll never be supreme leaders.
Well, as far as assassination attempts go, at the moment we think that Trump made up the first one here, right? The second one won't miss. I'll tell you what, if he was to do that, because they'd find a way to get him. Something like that. And Iran has got one of the most amazing militaries of its size in the world. So, and in this one, because of what's happened, I stand beside Iran, the people, their government. They're not his regime, they're their government, and that's as simple as that, because they should not, as a sovereign country, have been attacked in such a way.
Right, next up, the Herald. $150 violent offenders freed under early release scheme.
That's a Herald. It's in Scotland. So, violent offenders. Not sure about that one. Is it violent?
Well, actually, David, well done. You picked up the flaw in the headline. Most people convicted of violence, it's a one-off. They're not career violent offenders.
Yeah.
It's a one-off that's normally influenced by drink, drugs, sex, love, whatever.
Yeah.
Very few people are what we call violent criminals, career violent criminals.
Yeah.
These people are no violent offenders. These are people who were convicted of violent offences. There's a difference between a violent offender and somebody who was with,
You
picked up the flaw in the headline. And that's how you play with words.
Yeah. Well,
that's how you play with words.
It's very unlike the Herald. They don't play with words, do they?
They're all very good at it, actually. Right, after the Herald with the loony right-wing rag the Express, this one's a fucking cracker. Right, urgent plea for voices of Scottish victims of grooming gangs to be heard. SNP refused to lodge inquiry into one of biggest scandals ever. Why is it we don't need to launch that inquiry, David?
Because we don't have that problem up here at all. There's not that.
Why don't we have that problem?
Well, we class it as what it is. It's sex offences. Plus the fact we don't have the situation where people are going to public. See that one there? See her there? I'm waiting a few years, and I'm keeping her going. That's
David, the reason why. Wait a minute. The reason why they're going after these, they're wanting this grooming gang thing down that road, it's all part of their culture war and anti-Asian war. The reason why we don't have a need for that sort of inquiry is we're 96% fucking white. We've had the inquiry and we set up the child fucking abuse task force in Police Scotland. That's why we don't need to have it. We're not looking for brown men to blame for the fucking crimes that are committed here in Scotland, because we don't have that many brown men.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's a load of bunking up this end.
It's right
down in England. It's like you can actually see that they're not white blokes that are problems.
Aye,
they're called gamins.
Stephen put it. Stevie Charlton put it up the other day. There, the figures: 90% of sex offenders are white.
Yeah.
You know, but the reason why we don't have to have that inquiry here, David, is because we had it.
Yeah.
We had it after the carry on with the Western Isles and the Shetland Isles, where families had their children taken away. They were accused of being in a sex ring. They were accused of witchcraft and all sorts of shit with the public inquiry.
I remember when I used to live in England. They had the Cleveland child abuse things. It was all whites. It was all whites that were involved in that, and there was a point to that, right? Seriously, that was something that was quite set, and there was whites. It was all whites. There was no black, no Asians whatsoever involved whatsoever. You've frozen up, haven't you? Well done, David. There goes your algorithm from Restream. There you go, you're back.
Actually, David, I was sitting there watching you go. I can see the signal drop off. That's why I was sitting here saying nothing.
Yeah.
It happens on the rural location. Right, so that was what was the last one there? The Herald.
Millie Jameson says a sex offender is a sex offender regardless of colour. Quite right, Millie. Quite right, darling.
But the thing is, David, the reason why we don't have to have the inquiry they're having down that road is we're not chasing brown men. We don't have that many. We're 96% white. And we're not trying to demonise our Asian population the way they're down that road. Because remember, right wing needs somebody to hate.
The world contains good and bad of all types.
Nobody's arguing that, David. We're talking about why we don't need to have that inquiry here in Scotland. Right. We don't need to have that inquiry. We don't have that many brown men.
We need to have an inquiry. Why, in our name, the UK is backing a regime that goes ahead and does terrorist attacks on other countries.
Right, here we go. Exclusive, a threat to humanity, and there's a picture of Macron, Carney, Trump, the German Chancellor, and of course Sir Keir Starmer. And what it says here is Scottish-based expert warns as G7 leaders back Israel's right to self-defence while criticising Iran. Now, the Scottish expert is warning that these five guys are the fucking danger.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm surprised at Carney. Out of any of them, I'm surprised at Mark Carney. The Macron, he's got form. Trump, he's a woman barra boy, right? Sir Keir Starmer, flowing out. David, you're a bad time this morning, aren't you?
Aye, well, you know, it happens sometimes, David, when you live in a rural area. Anyway, apparently, according to this Scottish expert, these five guys in the picture, Iran, but these five guys in the pictures. And UK Feed Scotland, poison pills and policy scraps, FM warns of need to take charge of own destiny. This was John his speech yesterday at the Scotland 2050 conference. I watched it.
Yeah. For being called the 2050 conference, feeds people all the wrong information. I saw the other week there a post somewhere about this 2050 conference going ahead and the fact that John Swinney was backing it and all the rest of it, right? And there was loads of people going, "That's it, I've had it with the SNP, I'm off." People will read the headlines and they won't bother to read the article to find out what's going on. I've got a friend on here, Robert Bruce. He actually was the only one that put up, "Why don't you just read the article?" And
well, as I say, if people have to see the 28 Scotland 2050 conference, they won't realise it's been going for a few years now.
Yeah. Well,
and they won't realise.
My wish to get rid of
independence.
My wish to get rid of Swinney is not the fact that he's kicked independence away. It's the fact he's dawdling about it. Of course he is. All right, and we all know that, right? I want rid of him as far as that's concerned. I want somebody, a fire on a bill that will go ahead and go, right, we're going for it. Let's go.
Did you see the speech?
No, I didn't at all. Didn't see that speech at all. Busy. I was doing my hair or I was ironing at the time. I can't remember.
Actually, David, what's been said has got through to him if you'd have watched the fucking speech.
Well,
the fire is now in his, David, the fire is now in his belly. Now we'll see if it stays there.
I was watching a kettle boiling. That's what I was doing. I was watching.
Okay, I'll tell you what, David. Don't criticise a man without seeing what he's saying.
Fucking Swinney, take a hike. Seriously.
David, at least I'll watch what he's going to say before I criticise him.
I've watched what you said.
All right.
I've watched what you said.
Did you watch it speak?
It's an old summer. It's an old saying, but it really counts. One swallow doth not make a summer. There you go.
That's right. Here's another one I know. Leopards can't change their spots. Did you watch yesterday's speech?
I can't believe you just said that. Right. Anyway, come on to the next one.
I know you say that. You know why? Because I bother watching
the next one. Come on. Get on with it. Pointless argument this time of the morning. I probably will see his speech at some point before I go. Right. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you've seen the speech, you'd have thought he'd fire in his belly. Let's see where it goes. Right. Next up, we have the Metro. Metro's on a weather story. Health warning as temperatures head for record 33 degrees. Heat wave in flaming June.
That's in Scotland, not in England. That doesn't count in England. England's got to be.
You mean that's in England?
England's got to be freezing as it normally is.
I'll tell you what, if it's a heat wave, I've just opened my fucking curtains. They missed it.
Yeah.
It's 15 fucking degrees and cloudy.
Yeah.
That's in England only.
That's just a half first thing in the morning. Don't worry about it.
Well, it hasn't burnt off for the last 3 fucking days. It's still burning that now. Right, this one's hard work. Let's get the star out of the road. You get fucking hold. I forgot to put a star up yesterday, folks. Right, road blast Trump. You are failing. Orange man baby changed since becoming prez. I don't want to talk about it. Do you think I'm angry?
Hey,
come on then, respond.
Angry. Yeah.
I haven't got a Scooby what that's all about. I didn't know that Rod Stewart and Trump were pals. I guess they're having a tiff. And to be fair, it's a celebrity story when you take both sides of it. He's a fucking failed a reality TV star, and the other one's a singer.
I know you're a bit of a fan when it comes to star on the headlines, but if I had to buy a newspaper in Scotland, right, and there was no national, right, then I wouldn't buy the Star. The Star would never come into it.
David, the Star isn't a newspaper; it's a fucking comic.
Does it have crosswords and like that in it? You know?
Aye. Bands got cartoons and everything because let's face it, it's designed for idiots.
Right.
It's for the people with the lowest the lowest intelligence to be able to try and pick up some news. But of course, they don't put any news in it. It's a celebrity magazine.
Yeah,
It's a comic.
they're not going to pick up any news there. You know.
No, there isn't any news there at all. That's the whole point of putting it up. It's funny.
But looking at the rest of the papers that you put up, very little in the way of actual, real, truthful news there, is there?
There was none. There was none. And all of a sudden, we're being led to believe that Iran are the bad guys.
And we've also been
the people.
but we're also being led to believe that America is going to attack Iran. They are not. This is it's just fear mongering. And what is it? What does it accomplish at the end of the day? You want to keep all your population frightened all the time. Putin's going to drop nuclear weapons on us. Right? Okay, we're still waiting. No, we're still waiting. America's going to attack Iran, and it's going to that's going to bolster the old Third World War thing. Right? Okay, I'm still waiting, and I think I will still be waiting weeks from now.
I hope you're right.
I tell you what, I'm fucking certain on this one.
Oh, David, in the past, it's always been there was grown-ups in the room. This time round, there are no fucking grown-ups in the room.
Absolutely right. But at the same time, the people that have actually got to do it, boots on the ground, the American general.
They will do what they always do. They will do what they always do. They will do what they're fucking told.
Hang on. This is something that's been foisted upon them by Israel attacking.
It doesn't matter, David. The many wars were foisted upon the soldiers, and they did it anyway, even though you knew it was immoral. It was wrong.
I know that.
Let's talk about Syria.
Let's
talk about Afghanistan.
I know all strategies. Actually, scenario out everything, right? Britain attacking Ireland. Everything is scenarioed out, right? At the end of the day, it's like it might be a scenario, but you look at
one rabbit hole too many for the day, David. It's time to ruin it.
It's nothing to do with a fucking rabbit hole, right? This is one situation where you're the ones that are in the fucking rabbit hole. If you're taking America going to attack Iran, not going to happen. Not going to happen.
Who said that? Who said that? What's that saying? There's a chance
America will do it, but they'll do it by proxy, by using Netanyahu and Israel to go ahead and attack whatever. That's what America have done all the way through. They're going to continue doing that. They're not going to put Americans.
That's why the Americans didn't go into Iraq at Netanyahu's bequest. That's why the Americans didn't get into Syria at Netanyahu's request. That's why the Americans didn't go for regime change in Afghanistan at Netanyahu's request. David, time will tell. I hope you're right. But we better round this one.
Fucking roll.
Historical facts. Netanyahu said, change Saddam, regime change, that will bring peace to the region. America went in and done it, no peace in the region. Same way Syria, same way Beirut. That's a repeat program.
Right. Don't forget, there is one area where America has been handed their heads on a fucking plate all the time. Is Yemen. Yemen is backed by Iran. And all this does is it makes Iran deal with their own situation and allows America to create nonsense in Yemen. Right?
I thought that was the Saudis, but never mind. We need to round this up, folks. Thanks for tuning in on High Numbers.
Or for the
as usual, this is went from talking about headlines to talking about wider subjects, but that's what happens when David and I are on. David, I need to quit. I've got things I need to get on me.
I need to go on holiday.
You get your bucket and spade ready and get your arse down your holiday rabbit hole. Say goodbye, David.
Good.
Aye. David, your rabbit holes are made up. My rabbit holes are historical facts. Catch you later, dear boy.
Any day, we'll see.
That was good fun.
That was good. But in all seriousness,
Apart from
I don't think America's going to attack Iran. They're going to have.
There they are, David. That's not the point. It could happen this time. We don't have any grown-ups in the room.
I know.
This stream's no ending for some reason.
What?
Not just to be problems with the stream breaking up through the stream. I've pressed end stream and it's no finishing.
In fact, we're still on.
I don't know.
Can somebody on our comment watching this, please tell us if you can see it. Can you still see us, guys?
I don't know.
Well, you got. We do. You ask, and if you get a response.
Aye.